Hello there, kia ora. You may recall a couple of weeks ago, ACT MP Karen Chower had been summoned to the Waitangi Tribunal to answer questions about the repealing of Section 7AA of the Oranga Tamariki Act. She wanted to basically avoid that completely and refused to answer any questions whatsoever. And the tribunal wanted to know what her actual background was on this, what the science and the research said was going to happen as far as they were concerned, and what the outcomes were planned to be. And she refused to answer. So the Waitangi Tribunal went to the High Court and said, "We want to be able to pull her in. What do you say?" And the High Court turned around and said, "No, she's an idiot, absolutely. She did this to herself completely. She has no one to blame but herself for this particular issue. But we're not comfortable setting a precedent that would mean that the tribunal could call forward politicians." And that was appealed almost instantly. Now, in the last few days, we've actually had a whole bunch of stuff happen all at once. So I'm going to try and unwind this a little bit to make sure everyone can understand exactly what's going on from the moment that the court made its decision in the appeals court all the way through to the tantrum that ACT threw at the end of this. You see, what the appeals court found was that, yes, the tribunal does have the right to be able to call on an MP. They decided that as a part of the judiciary system, which is separate to the legislature for very good reason, it certainly has an ability to call in MPs to get more information if they are making changes that could affect the country in different ways, particularly around Te Tiriti or Waitangi. And so from now on, if the tribunal wants to, they can do that summons, but it's never been used before because nobody has ever refused to answer questions before. What's really strange, though, is sort of what happened next. You see, after the appeals court decision was released, the ACT party had a tantrum and they blamed the Waitangi Tribunal. It was kind of weird. It was the decision of the appeals court, but apparently it's the Waitangi Tribunal's fault and they're all terrible and stuff. Like it's an online meltdown designed to look like a very professional response, and it's kind of crazy. At the same time, the findings that the Waitangi Tribunal actually had around the repealing of 7AA, they're not great for the government. They said it was a very clear breach of Te Tiriti or Waitangi, in particular the guarantee to Māori self-determination and the treaty principles of partnership and active protection. So normally, a government should sit back and go, okay, maybe we need to reconsider what we're doing, but not this government, which has on a number of occasions rushed things through the parliamentary process, knowing that as soon as that happens, the Waitangi Tribunal can't respond. And their reaction, well, ACT introduced this bill on Monday, a week that government is in recess. They introduced this bill so that the Waitangi Tribunal could do nothing else on it whatsoever. And that is absolutely crazy. In fact, Maria Mino Kapakingi, who is the Te Pāti Māori spokesperson on this issue, she turned around and said it was a basic extermination of Māori and she was particularly pissed off with it. And I totally get that. And when it comes to expertise in this area, I mean, I think I'm going to trust the person who worked in social groups and looked after social outcomes more than the person who was a property manager when it comes to expertise. Yeah. So now the Waitangi Tribunal can't do anything because the government has again rushed a piece of legislation into Parliament that the Waitangi Tribunal has said this is a bad idea. Because again, they don't give a shit about outcomes. They don't give a shit about what actual research goes into finding those outcomes. They just give a shit about making sure everybody knows that as far as they're concerned, white is the color of choice for anything that they want to wash with this government.